got you.
This is my friend Donald. Hi, Michelle here with the Traveling Epicurean. Today we're cooking drunk blondies.
Boy, Michelle, this is really going to be an education for me because you see, I've never cooked anything in my entire life, so I really want to learn. See, we would do a great job.
We would do a great job.
We would do a great job.
And can I put you in my show?
Oh, you can, I wouldn't even get nervous.
That's right. Today we are making drunk blondie bars. I know, is that name hilarious? Well, that's what we're making today. They're decadent cookie bars. Absolutely delicious. We'll serve them with vanilla ice cream, and then we're gonna make a bourbon caramel sauce to drizzle on the top of it. It's all so simple, so you better pay attention because it goes like that and you just might miss it. So come on over here and I'll show you what we're gonna need to get this going. So this is what we're gonna need to make our drunk blondie bars. We have 2 cups of packed light brown sugar, 2 sticks of unsalted butter, 2 cups of unbleached all-purpose flour with a teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 eggs at room temperature with 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I have a 1/2 cup of toasted coconut. I have a 1/4 cup of mini semi-sweet chocolate chips, a 1/4 cup of chopped pecans, 2 tablespoons of bourbon, and I have an extra 1/4 cup of toasted coconut, and I'm going to sprinkle that on the tops of our desserts. That's going to be so delicious and give it a little extra flavor and crunch. All right, so let's get the butter and the brown sugar and start stirring that up. Big bowl, I'm going to add the butter to the brown sugar, and we're just going to stir it until it's smooth. Almost like a paste consistency. It only takes about a minute, just like that. And then I'm going to add in the eggs and the vanilla. And the bourbon. Can't forget the bourbon. That's what's flavoring, along with the vanilla and the coconut and the chocolate chips and the pecans. I love all the flavors that go into this cookie bar. So look how it almost turns fluffy when you're beating in the eggs. Good. Now I'm going to set this aside for just a second. I'm going to whisk the flour, the baking powder, and the salt just so it's evenly distributed in the pan. And then we're going to mix this into the sugar mixture here with the eggs. And the bourbon, it smells amazing already. That vanilla and the bourbon aromas. Oh, it smells incredible. Something about cooking with wine or bourbon. I love whiskey and mushrooms. All right, so I'm just gonna add all of the flour in there. That's a beautiful consistency. Once you don't see any of the dry flour. So now we're gonna add in our pecans. We're gonna add in our coconut. I love toasted coconut. Should get all of that out there. And then the mini chocolate chips. A 1/4 cup doesn't seem like a lot. Because they're so small, they really distribute nicely when you start to mix it up. These are the last of the ingredients. And I'm just going to start to stir this just until they're combined. And then we're going to pour this onto our parchment and get it right into the oven. Oh my goodness. That's it. Voila. We have amazing drunk blondies. Wait till you try these. Oh, that smells so good. Okay, let's get these into the baking dish. We're going to line the baking dish with parchment paper. It really helps you to be able to get the bars out of the dish. And there's really no fancy way to do this. Just put it in there and then crumple the edges. Just like that. As long as you have it centered, the weight of the cookie dough is gonna hold it down. All right, so we're gonna start scooping this out. So I've got this wonderfully smelling dough that we're scooping into the dish. Oh my goodness. I know I already said that once, but it smells amazing. And I have an offset spatula. You could use a knife, whatever you wanted. And I'm just gonna smear the dough so it's even to the corners. Fantastic. I got these evenly spread out, just like that. I'm gonna get it into a 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes. You want it a little bit golden on top, just really lightly. And while these are baking, we're gonna make that bourbon caramel sauce. I can't wait. Okay. So this is what we're gonna need to make our bourbon caramel sauce. We have 2 cups of sugar, 4 tablespoons of butter, a half a cup of water, a third of a cup of bourbon, a tablespoon of caro syrup, and a cup and 3/4 of heavy cream, which you do need to heat up before you add it to the boiling water and sugar mixture. Otherwise, the sugar will seize up and get a little bit clumpy, but you could always whisk it back into a nice sauce if you put it back on the stove. So let's get heating up our heavy cream, and I'm gonna get our water and our sugar and our caro syrup in a pan and start to bring that to a boil. So the drunk blondies are in the oven baking away, and now we're gonna make that bourbon caramel sauce. Oh my goodness, this brings it all together. I can't wait to show you how to make this. So we're gonna put the pan on high. I'm gonna add the sugar, the water, and the caro syrup. We're gonna bring it to a boil for about 5 minutes, and I'm gonna brush down the sides with a little bit of water and a pastry brush. And we're gonna keep cooking it until it turns this really pretty amber color. Just like that. Then I'm gonna add in the 2 cups of sugar and a tablespoon of caro syrup. And we're gonna let this come to a boil. Here we go. All right, so I'm gonna give this a nice little stir just to mix the water and the sugar. And then I'm not gonna touch it. And it's gonna go for anywhere from 5 to 8 minutes, depending on how hot your burner gets on high. Everybody's burner is different. You really gotta pay attention to it in the last couple of minutes because you want it to be amber, not a dark amber, because if it's a dark amber, it's gonna end up smelling like it's burnt. Okay, it's coming to a boiling stage. I'm going to run my pastry brush that's been dipped in a little bit of water just around the sides. And then it'll be fine. I don't want to stir it, and I'm gonna watch it for the next 6 minutes. All right, so we're getting close. It's turning like a blonde color, and it's gonna happen quickly now. We've been going about 6 minutes. I'd say in the next minute, it's gonna get a little bit darker color. It's almost ready. The bubbles get a little bit smaller when it starts to get darker. I'm gonna whisk in the butter. Then I'm gonna take it off the heat and whisk in the cream. All right, so it's a gorgeous color. I'm gonna add in the butter and whisk that in. Be careful not to burn yourself. It may feel like it's gonna clump up, but what you can do is put it back on the heat a little bit and keep whisking. And it'll all melt back together. All right, I'm gonna take it off the heat again, and I'm gonna add in the bourbon. So I put this back on the stove after adding in the bourbon, and I turn the heat down though. Very important to turn the heat down, otherwise it will boil over. And I'm just gonna let it keep simmering like this with a small boil for about 2.5 minutes so it can thicken back up and the alcohol can evaporate a little bit from the bourbon. But it's looking really beautiful. And it won't boil over if you have it on the medium heat. You'll see the bubbles. See how they got smaller? And it's just getting more syrupy. And I'm about to pull it off right now. It's been almost 3 minutes. It looks gorgeous. All right, so look, I've just lifted this Drunk Blondie bar right out of the cooking dish. It's so nice and easy when you do it with the parchment like that. And now I'm just gonna be cutting different strips. I need to get 12 out of here, like that. So easy to cut. Let me show you what the center looks like. See along the center here, it's moist and decadent. It's gonna be absolutely delicious. All right, so here we go. We're gonna start building our Drunk Blondie sundae. I'm gonna put a little dollop of that Bourbon Caramel Sauce. Then I'm going to place the bar right like that. That's like a little bit of a glue. Then I'm gonna get our scoop of ice cream right on the top, just like so. I like to drizzle that caramel sauce. Over the top like that. Then we're gonna have some whipped cream, another drizzle, and then we'll sprinkle some of that toasted coconut right on top of there. But that's really beautiful. Well, I better have a bite soon because it's melting away. This is a decadent dessert. Oh my goodness. Wow. Amazing. And the best thing about this, it's a total make ahead. You can make the sauce up to a week ahead, and you can make the Drunk Blondie bars up to 3 days ahead. So it's perfect for a party. You've got to make this. I can't wait. Let me know how they come out. Remember, you can find the recipes on my website, thetravelingepicurean.com.